Mute now because the entire beginning of
We've been
this.
live.
Well, no. Yeah. So it was just us sitting here talking to each other, but it was completely muted. So
Why do
welcome
you
to
Nice.
like
Biscuit 10
this?
RPG, everybody.
It's
Home
crazy. We've
of
done like
the
100 sessions of the other game, and like this is gonna be like what session like 40 in this? That's crazy. That's over
29.
120.
Flawless system we're running here.
I mean, hello and welcome. You get no fun intro today. You just get us staring blankly at screens talking while you couldn't hear us. So you're all welcome. That being said, a little update for everybody. I hope I put the right number on today's session. Does this say session 26?
It does.
Okay, good. That's good. That's what it's supposed to be. All right, good. So we're on session 26. First gate, I just powered through 3 chapters worth of second round edits, and my head is going to explode, so that's fun. Much to the chagrin of my editor, a lot of those edits that were sent to me, I simply went, nah, I like it the way it is. But a lot of it comes down to vernacular and how it usually looks in a book. Stuff that, you know what, whatever. Let's do the session recap. Welcome to the show, everybody. We are consummate professionals. All right, session 25, we titled Casual Bloodletting. We rejoined the party right after the well has been repaired. By fate, Majin entices the party to follow them through a newly uncovered tunnel behind the well itself. Tensions are high as Augustine is now very suspicious of Majin and their motives, demanding that Majin talk to Fate about what just happened, which after some banter they finally did. The conversation leaving Augustine more incensed than before. On purpose. Eventually, following Majin, they found their way to a massive expanse in a cavern. One side, a ever-flowing waterfall from nowhere to nowhere. On the other side, a huge mural that tells the entire story of their lives and seemingly the lives of all those that came through the well before them. Basically, a lot. So seriously, go back and watch it if you haven't seen it. I legitimately wrote that in here. Now we come back to the same scene as half the party is buffering and the other half is confused, and probably more than one is annoyed as Unya decides to give in to the need and opens his veins for ritual purposes. So I put Shrug in there, so I figured I'd do it live for everybody so that you're all on the same page. Welcome, everybody. Let's see here. All right, so where we last left off, if I'm not mistaken, Augustine is sitting at the table drinking wine with Majin, having a casual conversation about nothing and everything at the same time. Issa just recovered from the shell shock of learning the truth from the mural. Jean is buffering and now inside little Sebastian's head in his happy place. Riva is doing Lord knows what, probably flirting with her sword. And Unya, you are beginning to enter the stupor that is, I believe, repayment. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Why'd you put yourself on the board?
So, Riva, what are you doing?
I mean, if he's already done it, I'm probably off. Probably on my timeline, I'm just like showing my sword. It's like, oh yeah, this is where I fought this. Yes, this is where. Yeah, just like showing all my achievements, being very.
The sword is very impressed. The most impressive part is when you found her. She keeps wanting you to retell that story.
Yeah, so Augustine picked you up, and then she cast identified it, and she said you should take this, and I was like, okay.
I
That's
love
the
that story. Tell me again.
All right.
Endless
Just reading
cycle.
it.
Got it. So, with that being said, Augustine, what are you doing? Casually sitting there drinking wine as Unya drifts off into the soft slumber that is a bloodletting ritual.
Issa, you kind of like calls over to Issa. You said that I something with the timeline in that one, but why would I associate with someone that stupid? He's literally making himself bleed out. I
I
mean,
mean, not for nothing, but we're all idiots here.
speak for yourself.
I was.
I'm not going to argue with anybody.
You silence. You're not here.
Oh, yeah.
Don't call yourself stupid. I actually like you now, so stop that.
Oh, so now I'm not allowed to call myself stupid.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, fair enough.
I mean, to be fair, of those present, I think you and I might have the most, and I speak of direct compatriots, not kind of like jerks a thumb back at Majin and then points over at Fate. I feel like they have more brain cells than any of us could ever hope to have. But still, of
They've
the
had longer.
others,
It's not fair.
no, I've had quite a while.
Majin's still
To be fair.
casually eating a pomegranate.
Yes.
You're just fascinated by all of this, aren't you?
Sorry, what?
You're just fascinated by all of this, aren't you?
I am. You're all endlessly fascinating. Watching the choices you make as you stumble through life.
I mean, you may benefit more from watching your own choices. People do say that self-reflection does quite a bit for the soul.
Oh, I've reflected on myself quite a while. Hence why I find enjoyment in, well, everything now. I find that letting things drag you down without motivation leaves one wanting and desperate. Not something I care to travel through, as it were.
Fair enough.
Speaking of
Pulls out
stumbling
a
through,
second
who did?
bottle of wine.
Sorry.
No, she's
Speak-
just pulling out a second bottle of wine.
Fair enough. Yeah, speaking of stumbling through, who did you come through here with last time?
Last time it was just me.
You've never brought anyone else down here?
Oh, I've traveled with others before, but the last time I traveled with someone was Dorian.
Hmm. Where's his line on this wall?
Right there. Just casually points at the wall.
I'm gonna go poke around at that for a little bit.
Okay. All right, Jean, how is everything going over there with you, buddy?
Jean's he's been in his happy place. He's trying to pull himself back together. He's been through a lot lately.
Okay.
Just finding out the names of his parents. All he did was, really give himself psychic damage. He has no one to blame but himself, so he's just kind of dealing with that whole thing.
Very well. Majin actually looks over at you and says, "You seem lost. Why not join us? It seems your compatriot here has wine, if you are willing to share, that is."
I shared with you, didn't I?
It would be presumptuous for me to assume that you would share with any.
Those two can. It kind of points at Issa and John. I would say Riva as well. She seems, I don't know, decent, but she's too busy hitting on her sword. I don't think she's actually like calculated how that could never actually work, but
I don't
Jean will
judge.
kind of wander. Jean will wander over and just kind of like vaguely hold his hand out in the general direction of the wine, like, yes, please.
Augustine just passes him one of the bottles because she has a total of 3. One's already open, so she pulled the second one out. She just passes it over to him.
Jean will, he'll take himself a big ol' sip.
Hmm.
Jesus.
And I'm the weird one for meditating.
I think that was a
You
well.
can't say anything. You're bleeding out.
It's a
Well,
hell of a way to say dying.
well. I
Again.
mean, right now. So Unya has an hour before this thing actually takes hold. An hour of meditation while this begins. So this is a slow bleed that's going on. So Unya is completely aware of everything going on around him right now and can respond, but can't do so in anything more than broken sentences.
Hell yes.
God, this gets better and better.
So Majin goes, "Oh, no, that's come on, have some class." Reaches into a bag and pulls out a cup and hands it to Jean. Come on.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, let's see what I
Jean
got
will,
in here. Reaches down, and anyone that's paying attention notices this is a bag about this big. It looks like a large component pouch, probably about the size of your typical like knapsack or something like that. But just rummaging around, you hear a bunch of noises and everything in there, and then pulls out another bottle of wine and says, "How about this one? I hear this is a good year. I've been saving it for a special occasion, and this seems like a pretty special one to me."
Works for me. Does the bottle have a label on it?
It does not.
All right. Jean will shrug and say, "Win in yon calf," and take a sip.
All right. It's good. It's a solid like vintage wine. There's no harsh flavor. The tannins aren't too tangy, etc. I know just enough about wine to know that the word tannins is involved.
Yeah. Good enough. Jean doesn't know anything else other than that, so ooh, that's nice. No label. Where's this wine from?
I believe
Let me
it's
check my sheet really quick. Let's see.
I believe it's from the West actually. Um, that's the country 1 or 2 over. Um, something about the blades. I don't know. It's a religious sort of place, but they do make a good wine. I suppose it's ceremonial.
Good.
Most
Good for them.
religions do.
Gotta have a hobby, I guess.
It's either that or churn butter, I guess, for
little
them.
the little shop we stopped at to get food when we were traversing our way over here is where I got it. I got black wine.
Oh, so you know Kodiak. Hmm, interesting fellow that one. You know his favorite thing to do is to rip people off for favors by pretending he's 2 people, right?
I respect it.
As do I. I don't fall for it, but I admire the hustle. So this conversation goes on for a little bit, and as it does, Unya eventually hits the point where the trance ends, and now the recovery begins. So with that, Unya, I need you to make the check that you need in order to see if you actually first ask your question. I suppose that's probably a good place to start. I hope this isn't another I'm out sort of thing.
Just suddenly hangs up.
No, I'm not. I'm just randomly out. Sorry.
Who comes up with a name like that? Yeah, who comes up with
Repeat what you said.
No problem. You are officially entering the second part of the ritual, so now you get to ask your question before you go into your stupor.
Okay. Since I never got clarification on it, I'm gonna go ahead and ask to validate.
Do what?
I said since I never got clarification from anyone, I'm gonna go ahead and ask the question I was told to ask
And that
about the mask.
checks my
I was
non-existent
told.
notes.
I just said about the mask. She told me to explain or to ask why she wears that mask specifically.
Oh,
Because it was supposed to prove if that thing would give truthful information or
okay,
not.
okay. You have a check or a wisdom save, I believe, in order to be able to
Yep.
determine the information. So go ahead and roll that. I believe it's a DC 15.
It's a variant DC. 1 second, I just had it up.
All right. Let's go put a little mood music here.
By the way, I have to figure out where to go.
So it's 10 to 20 depending on the question being asked. It's your call.
Okay. It is going to be a DC 11.
23.
Well, it simply responds back, what an interesting thing to ask. And it goes, well, you'll be able to figure this out. And you get varying flashing images, and you actually see Augustine, when she was much younger, walking into a theater. And you see splits in images of a fire being started by some masked figure. And when I say masked, I mean just a cowl covering their face, not a physical mask. And a fire being started by this individual, and you see who you now recognize as her brother in a spectral-esque body reaching down and pulling her out of the rubble. And on her face, you see the burns.
Okay.
And now you're out for 8 hours.
So yeah, it literally goes from need meditation. Stomp.
So, we got 8 hours to kill. What's everyone wanting to do?
I guess I'll go. I want to look for swords timeline.
You want to look for the sword's timeline. Well, considering the sword is not a sentient being in the typical sense, but you do know what it's attached to, you need to make a... You can make either a religion or an arcana check.
I believe those are equally bad. So
Fantastic.
we're just gonna-
At advantage, because I know that you've been looking at this thing for a while.
That's a 13 turned to 12.
Okay. So, you you're looking and you see, you actually find, where it connects to you, and you actually see a path coming from the sword, strangely enough, leading back towards probably about maybe 50 years ago, where the entity that created it had traveled through the well. And the only thing that pops up is that you see that this sword was created by an entity that became a patron after she made her way into the well itself, um, striking a deal, and then that's when you kind of see it. The name has been here for a while, but due to some otherworldly magic, it's very difficult to discern and make out. So you can't read the original name, but you do see the rough translation of it for Dr. Gray. Dr. Gray gained prominence about 50 years ago and began making warlock pacts with those that would dwell in the shadows and were very charismatic and bard-like in nature at some points. And for kind of a lark, she created this weapon to send it out in the world just to see what would happen. Kind of infusing her own personality into it. It is actually a mirror reflection of herself. Not a doppelganger, evil versus good version, just a solid piece of herself made into a sword.
All right. When were you created by the patron? I guess Dr. Gray.
Oh, let's see here. It was probably about 35 years ago.
Hmm.
I've been around for a while, but I got left in a lot of places. People they don't understand what true strength is, what beauty is, the masterpiece that I am, etc. I could go on and on. But mostly they're just jealous.
Not. It's very. I think they're jealous for a reason. You know.
Exactly, right? It takes a very strong woman to carry me around.
I guess go back to my mural.
Okay. Issa.
I'm gonna poke at what Dorian's timeline is doing right now,
Okay.
just because he is, and I use this term loosely, our next target. It would probably not hurt for us to know what the hell he's doing.
Okay. So, you see Dorian the same thing. Paths. You take a look a little bit, and I'm not gonna make you roll for it. You eventually find it because you see that your path is somehow intersecting, and then it keeps crashing away, and then intersecting and crashing away. And you see this one. I will make you do a check on. I need you to make a perception check.
Alright.
You may or may not see it now that I think about it.
Your optimism is unfailing as always.
I do what I can.
I'm just gonna. I don't know if I need to math this. I got a 19 and my perception is a plus 12. I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and say I hit that.
All right, yeah, that's fine. So the one thing that strikes you as odd is you're actually kind of making out some things that don't seem quite right. It's a little off. You remember when you came down here all the things that were being said about Dorian being mad, simply because of all the pacts and everything that were being formed. You actually kind of at the very end here, right where it's starting to form and crack away and form and crack away, you're actually seeing that there's a point where you can see very plainly that Dorian was not right. But something changed, and it looks like it changed 2 weeks ago, where kind of came back to his senses. It was right around the time a massive skirmish broke out. You see that he had been taking orders and giving out orders to his lieutenants, including Rizel, to go out and push back the forces of the Legionnaires um, that were trying to push their way across the bridges. Um, and it looks like it was a solid couple of weeks there, and it's starting to look like it's slowing down. Interestingly enough. But the further back you travel on Dorian's timeline, there is a lot. So there's the madness that hit probably about, like I said, 2 weeks ago, it was there. And then for about a month, maybe two, it looks like as you're traveling backwards, it got really bad and then it slowly starts to diminish.
He's there.
Roll an intelligence check.
Well, we haven't seen him.
Investigation, specifically.
All right. I'm appreciative of rolling well now. It means I will roll hawk garbage later. 21.
Okay, so the timeline's a little bit murky to you because this isn't exactly written like the age of the Phoenix or whatever. Not, December 20 blurp, nothing like that. It's, you just kind of see that it kind of coincides as you kind of look down and compare it to the other timelines of you and your compatriots around the time that you all entered the city.
Okay.
As you go further back, you start seeing the different things about Dorian. Before that, Dorian was very much in control. There, you see the tensions in the timeline between his meetings with Lacroix. Anytime an entrance of where he's interacting with someone, it actually does give a name, and you kind of see further back. As you go back further and further, you see that there's a rift where it all started was when probably about 200 years after Jan Kath was officially founded, in order to keep it safe from the other countries that are surrounding it, Dorian began making deals and found a way somehow to forge multiple pacts with multiple patrons. And that was the straw that was a little bit too far. And since then, it's been a very contentious relationship between Lacroix and Dorian. Dorian, of course, thinking that what he's doing is right for the city and the Shadelands as a whole, while Lacroix believes that it is just a slow downward spiral to madness and losing everything. And then you also see further back the relationship that Dorian and Fate had. Lacroix and them, they were all part of the same unit that came to settle this area. They were adventurers, and they had heard tale of a magical place out here. And that's when Dorian had found the Well of Souls. And you see that entry into the mural itself. That's where it all began. That led to the creation of the Shadelands and therefore the city of Jan Kath itself. Anything else?
I'm gonna poke at this. I'm gonna poke at this for a little bit, and then I have something else that I want to do.
All right. Well, we'll come back to you in a second then. Jean, anything you're doing in particular?
So, after having a little bit of wine, some liquid courage, Jean is kind of pulled himself together enough to kind of like not just be in the Sebastian zone all the time. So he's going to kind of look around and try and get a feel for what everybody's vibe is. If there's anywhere he could help. Does Issa need help with scoping out stuff on the wall? does anybody need assistance, or is there some way that Jean can make himself useful that is not immediately apparent to him since he is a little out of it? It's
Alright.
kind of what I'm
Okay,
getting at.
cool. So, as you're kind of, pulling back out of Little Sebastian and looking around to really take in your surroundings, you see that Fate, finally having looked at the wall for quite a while, seemingly having been there for like in a zone out trance sort of thing, finally starts to look around and see what's happening around her, and she looks at all of you and goes, "Is this the thing that happened last time with him?" She's pointing
Yep.
at Unya. I hope he realizes that there's probably a war going on right now. What? Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
Not sure how much say he has in the matter.
Of course.
You could not waste 8 hours of our time, though. She has a point.
I will try to use this time to gather my thoughts and see what we can do. I know that we're gonna want to try to find some information and potentially approach Dorian now that he's either mad or not. The wall is unclear. Yes.
Where did you and Fate, or where did you and Dorian and Lacroix originally come from?
I don't know if that country exists anymore. It's been a few centuries. But we came from a city far to the south. Sandy deserts. We heard rumor out from here. There's the City of Faith. I haven't looked back, so I don't know what's become of it, but it was our original. Well, it was my original home. I believe that they came from the same area, but I don't know if they were from the city proper. It's far beyond the Dead Mountains. She's like, okay, well, I guess we're stuck here for the time being. So I guess I will sit and enjoy the moment of respite that we have. And she sits down and reaches into her bag and pulls out an orange, starts peeling it, and starts eating it.
Is everything fruit?
So much more fruit than I was expecting.
I know.
Like, I get why he pulled it out of a bag. It's like he's being all mysterious, but I feel like you don't usually do that.
I've had this.
Wait.
I prepared before we came in here.
All I've got is hardtack and jerky. Where the fuck is
Yeah.
everybody getting fruit from?
The market.
That's just,
Majin just goes from
It's
wherever
next
I
to
want
the street
to.
tacos.
I,
Wait,
I-
are you from the same place there that she's from?
Are you talking to Majin?
Yes.
No.
I'm not gonna get more than that, am I?
I answered your question. Do you have a better one?
Probably not.
Where are you from?
Here.
What, the well?
The Shadelands. I wouldn't say that I'm from the well. No. Pulls out another seed, pops it into their mouth.
Sus.
they wouldn't say, but would it be accurate? This Majin is there's something going on here. I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't don't want to intrude by zapping into someone else's brain, but suspicious.
It's your call, buddy.
No, I've had quite enough trauma for one day. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna say responsible adult says don't do it. Hobgoblin says do it.
Oh yeah, believe me, I am fighting that little gremlin. Do it. It'll be cool. No, shut up.
All right.
For the sake of the plot.
Augustine.
Sorry, I was swallowing my food.
No, it's fine.
She's been quiet for, she kind of like faded out of the conversation. She's just been quietly watching everyone and kind of contemplating the offer that had been made. I saw that little smile. Stop
No,
it.
that was me looking at something on my phone. That's fine. That has nothing to do with what you said. That smile was from last week. I'll bring it back if you want.
No. No. I think this is going to sound odd, does it look like the others are going to wander off and do something else, or is everyone kind of hanging around the table?
Well, Jean is kind of just at the table. Fate has walked up to the table and is just keeping to herself. She's got a smile on her face. She's contemplating. She's not really like zoned in on anybody in particular. She's kind of in thought. Riva is obviously still over by the wall, flirting with her sword, learning about it, telling the same story to the sword over and over again, possibly doing some push-ups to be super impressive.
I'd imagine it is an 8-hour period, so I'd imagine at some point I would come back and like just start like working out or something other than standing by a wall.
That's fair. And Unya is unconscious.
Okay, so we're gonna leave Jean in his little bubble of processing things.
John's trying to pull himself out of the bubble, so he's trying to re-engage with the group.
She's gonna look not at Majin, but at Fate.
Mm-hmm.
You want a different way to pass the time?
Majin speaks up. I love games.
That was not my suggestion, actually.
Fair enough. I'll leave you to your vices. Majin just kind of casually turns to the side, leg flops over the other one, very, Fate looks up and goes, what, Did you have something in mind?
Kind of like takes a moment, looks at Majin. You clearly have been watching me for a while, so this is coming from me and also like experience of knowing my brother, who is just as bad as me. You are the most dramatic person I have ever met. If you had waited a moment, what I was going to say was that you had made me an offer. So if Fate would be so kind as to delegate, I would be pushed.
Oh. By all means. Fate looks up and, absolutely. I'd be more than happy to help. Majin goes, well, if we're gonna talk about a potential deal, then the best place would be at the deal central, would it not?
Arguably, yes.
Then, I assume everyone else is going to be fine. I know that this area is safe. I've been here literally a few times.
I never would have guessed.
Anyway, I guess we'll go
What a
back to
weird
the
way to
well.
put
If anybody needs anything, wait. We'll be back. And Majin just casually gets up and saunters back down the corridor that you all came from in the first place. Fate stands up and motions to you and will walk next to you down the corridor.
As we're going down, because that is a long corridor, isn't it?
It's not that long. Surprisingly, you'll figure out that on the way back, it's very short.
Of course it is. We love those illusions. Um, Augustine will take the chance to look over at Fate and kind of bump her arm with her own. Are you doing all right?
Yeah,
I mean, you just superpowered so well, and
I've never felt this good. It's a more solid connection with my patron than I've ever had. I believe now that I can help take away some of the burden that is hung around Dorian's shoulders in order to make this place a much more livable and sustainable place.
do you think that Majin was always your patron?
What do you mean?
Or that is, they are the ones that you made the deal with.
Oh, I don't know.
But you are comfortable with it now.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. You walk. It only takes you about 5 minutes to get back to the well.
I know that was like a 15-minute walk before. That's some bullshit.
It was. It was a 15-minute walk before. It's crazy what magical places can do to you. Time distortion. That's right. I have songs about stuff. All right, so we'll get back to you in a second, Augustine. Issa, I believe you said you had some other things dinking around in your noggin that you wanted to pursue.
I am going to poke through Anya's stuff real quick.
Okay.
I don't really have anything new, so
Oh, I know. I'm hunting something specific now.
Okay. All right.
but the question is, do you remember what it is?
I do.
Or what I have?
I do. I got to look at my wall.
Oh, God. Yep. Okay. Fantastic. You root around in Unya's stuff. Is there anything in particular you're planning on grabbing?
I am digging for his incense.
Okay. You find a bundle of it in there.
Cool. That's what I want.
Okay. So, are you going to do any more research in that book that you found to
I
try to... Okay. So is that what you're about to do?
I mean, not with the incense. That's for something else, but yes.
Oh my God, I can only imagine. We'll get to that in a second then.
Oh.
What's this incense doing? What are you doing with this incense? What are you doing? Tell me.
I picked up Find Familiar, and I'm going to be doing that as soon as I can figure out if this was about 10 gold worth that I managed to steal.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Handwavium activate.
Okay.
So,
Well, I've got an hour to ritual cast that.
all right. Well, during that hour,
Glad I can help.
Thank you.
Riva,
Like I said, I knew what I was going for.
I assume at this point you're doing squats.
Yeah, at some point, I'm assuming I could take a short rest somewhere in
Oh
there.
yeah. You're gonna get a long rest
Yeah.
at the end of this, so you're fine.
Because I just want to ask Sword if she wants to be my packed weapon.
Oh, it's been forever since someone wanted me like that.
The relationship is getting scary.
I can see this sword playing with its hair.
Shut up, Unya, you're unconscious. The sword says out loud.
Who are you talking to?
Oh, it's just thoughts. Anyway, you want me to be your packed weapon?
Yes, it would help I guess it's up to you in the end. That's just, it'll help you make sure it'll lose you or someone tries to steal you or something along those lines.
So, fun fact about me that no one knows is I, as a packed weapon, am very powerful. Shh, don't tell the surprise.
Okay.
But if you are certain that you would like me as your packed weapon, then perform your little ritual and I will reveal myself to you.
All right.
And now we have an NC-18 rating.
I was midway through typing this sword as a hoe, so yeah.
So we're just trying to get it.
Get it? Get it.
Gotta
All right.
respect
Stuck
the
in the
hustle.
store for so long.
Sword's thirsty and not for blood. Heyo.
I just
Oh,
imagine that we're all literally watching this as the peanut gallery.
oh yeah. I wasn't aware that. I thought we were playing D&D. Turns out this is Thirsty Sword Lesbians.
There's dungeons involved either way.
Yeah, it's true.
I have the book for that, and I really want to run it.
Well, we've got one candidate at least.
All right, so that I believe takes you a short rest to do it, right, Reva?
I think so. Yeah.
All right, so that's about an hour. You and Issa will be finishing up around the same time. Jean, you are slowly pulling back. We'll get back to anything that you might want to help with. You see that 2 of your teammates are currently involved in some sort of ritual. Actually, now all 3 of your teammates that are still there are involved in a ritual. Each their own ritual. This is fantastic. I love it. This is...
Yeah. They're all doing their own ritual. Our 2 NPCs are also off doing ritual stuff. So
All right.
You can find you something culty if you're feeling left out.
John's just gonna kind of scuff his feet and whistle and
He's the little kid that got picked
That's not a
last.
ritual, but you could chat with me
Buddy.
if you want to.
John's feeling kind of left out. Like, I was in Little Sebastian's brain, and I come back, and everybody's
Doing their own thing.
all right. I mean,
You're
you
the
know
kid that showed up last to the sleepover. Oh my god.
that's my fault. I drugged my feet.
All right. Well, while you're worrying about your new in-life existential crisis, Augustine, you come to the well, and Majin stops, turns around, and casually smiles and says, "So, my offer. I have multiple different ways to
Before.
offer, but I want to know what it is you wish for. What is your dream?"
My brother back. Properly. With his memories intact. I just want my brother back.
You want me to erase your brother's memory from the wall. Bring him back from the power that he's gained. And give him back immortal life, just like you.
No, Majin, you would think that being a person who makes deals, you would pay attention to wording.
Oh, no.
Did
no,
I say remove his patronage? Currently speaking, he cannot come see me unless I am here.
That's true.
And even that was taxing for him.
Mm-hmm. So that there's no miscommunication, I want you to be specific.
My brother, as he is, with the ability to visit me whenever he so chooses, and to walk amongst mortals as he chooses. with his memories intact.
Okay.
I do not need him forgetting me.
I can do that, but there will be a price.
And that is why I brought someone to help me navigate through this.
The price will be he will no longer be your patron. I will.
Augustine kind of looks like she's gonna throw up for a second. She thinks about it. And she's going to, considering her proximity to the well, even though he is tired, she knows he can't appear. She's gonna reach out to her brother.
Okay.
And she is just going to send him the conversation that just happened because she wants his
Input.
opinion on this and if he wants it.
Majin smiles as you send that out. You're not quite sure what the smile means, but as you do, Fate reaches up to the well and pulls a string that's coming out of it, and your brother appears.
Oh.
Augustine! What? Whoa, this is new. I mean, it looks the same. Anyway, hi. I overheard. Your choice. I've always been about agency, as you have, so I can't tell you what to do.
No, but I want your opinion on it.
Well, I mean, it would be nice to be able to come back out into the world. That's kind of the price I paid. I could help you, but I couldn't be here. You know, I'm fine either way.
You won't be mad at me.
This is up to you, sis. Why would I ever be mad at you? I gave up everything for you.
Kind of looks over to Fate. Does it sound fair to you?
Fate looks at you, considers for a moment, and says, well, I mean, it really depends. I trust Majin. Obviously. I don't expect you to. But
No, but I trust you.
that's fair. It really comes down to, do you want to be able to see your brother on a daily basis? Or only when he's gathered enough power to reach out to you?
I'm very sorry if you hear that in the background.
I don't hear
If you
anything,
hear
it's fine.
squeaking, Okay, good. Because she's going wild on one of her squeaky toys. She considers this for a moment and then looks back at Majin. That's it? Just you becoming my patron instead of my brother?
That's it.
Then you have yourself a deal.
Fantastic. And with that, time stops around you. Fate, your brother, the energy within the well all stops for a second in time. And Majin reaches behind their back into a satchel and pulls out a letter. In one hand, he has the letter, in the other, he snaps their fingers, and a brazier pops up out of the ground with a green flame in it. Very well. The one thing that you need to know about being one of mine is twofold. On one hand, you get what you want. On the other, you also get the memories back of those that have fallen before you. Those that have not chosen this path will forget about you until they look at the wall again. Minor inconvenience. But your powers will not change. In fact, they may grow stronger. Now I gotta look up something here. So, to bring back one that was lost, we have to first learn about where you came from. And with that, he tosses in the letter and begins to read aloud. L, 205 years. You'd think I'd be tired of writing these letters for you, since I've nowhere to send them, but I can give you the journal of them when I see you again. Because I will see you again. I refuse to think that you aren't out there anymore. The world has been unfair enough as it is to you, to me, to both of us. We deserve to at least be a family again. I hope you will still see your little sister when you look at me. I've changed so very much, but I'm still her. Just older, wiser, stronger. Doesn't mean I don't need you anymore, though. Every time I perform, I wish you were in the audience. I'd like to think that you'd be proud. The little songbird has become so much more. I could take care of us this time. I can earn the money we need, keep a roof over our heads. You took care of me, and I can take care of you now. I miss you. It's supposed to get easier with time, and it never has. I don't believe that we could ever go back to how things were before. But before, we wondered where we would get our next meal day in and day out. Things could be better now. We could make them better. I hope that you're safe. I hope that you're happy. And I hope that I find you sooner than later. All of my love. Augie. And with that, the letter burns, and a slow wisp of the letter floats up and turns to ash. And Majin says, "The pact is made." And with that, your brother, fully immersed into this reality, the full humanoid version of him, appears next to you. No longer the wispy kind of outline that was Elliot Chevalier. He stands next to you, and time starts to move forward again. The well starts crackling with the divine energy and arcane energy that was flowing through it before. Augustine, you gain a level in Warlock. Your patron doesn't have to change. And standing next to you is your flesh and blood brother.
She's just gonna hug him.
Hey! Ooh, it's been a while. Ah, what did you do?
What do you mean, what did I do?
Well, obviously I wasn't allowed to do this. I made a deal. But Who cares? Small details. We can figure it out later. So where are we going?
Probably to go look at the half-dead, unconscious body of one of the people I was traveling with and see what
Oh.
everyone else is doing.
So, what happens right now, Augustine, is as you say that, the memories of Riva and Unya flood into your head. You remember everything now. It's
Oh,
not just something you
shit.
saw on the wall.
She just, oh shit. You know what? No. No, I don't feel bad because he chose to do this to himself and he punches children. It's fine. You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh,
He punches. Oh my. Let's go see this half-dead lunatic.
You hit one kid and you're branded as a child.
Oh my
Multiple
One time
times.
is all it takes.
god. This is horrible.
You started it.
That's fine. Ooh, 2 letters left.
I will say, Augustine, like, she loops her arm through L's, but then she kind of stops because Majin, like, where they were standing was kind of further from the path, right? So when we turn around, Majin's in the back.
Majin, yeah, Majin. When you turn back towards the pathway, Majin is behind you.
So she kind of looks back at them.
You
I
just
may
see
not have
Majin
agreed with some of your methods,
smiling
but-
a coy smile.
See, now I don't even want to say it, but thank you.
Oh, the things we'll do. Just kind of stretches. As you realize now that the well is emanating more energy than it was before. Just slightly. But you can actually feel it coursing through there now. It's like a seventh sense, as it were. Not just being able to see dead people, because that's something you can do in D&D. The seventh sense. Soul
She's gonna
sight.
lead the way back over. Is it gonna be a 15-minute walk over? Because if so, Augustine's gonna spend that time gossiping to her brother about the rest of the party.
It's if you say anything or you start getting into like an actual conversation, it actually can take as long as you want. Majin is listening intently and just enjoying it, and occasionally you won't realize it. You get so in-depth conversation with your brother, and he's just like, "Oh, spill," and the walk just keeps going until you've decided,
that
like,
this
"Hey,
is
this
just a
seems
tea
like it took a
session.
while." Yeah, and then you just end up there.
We're both gonna have our rituals done before she fucking gets back.
Probably, yeah.
The queers are queering. Like, of course, it's gonna take a while.
So so the one thing that you keep getting, like, as you're in the middle of like this really like heated like discussion with your brother, describing all of the dumb shit that the party has done, and every once in a while he'll just interject with like, "But what about Jean?
You really like him, don't you?
He's cute and he's got manners."
I mean, if I was into men, I could see the appeal. He is a sweet lad, but I don't know. He's sort of traumatized. I mean, I'm not saying
Oh.
that traumatized people don't deserve affection, but I feel like it might go over his head right now. I mean, you could certainly try.
Oh, honey,
So
it
he's
takes
some-
all types to heal. I've got this.
I guess one of us had to be fond of men.
Balance. So
This
you'll
is why we're the perfect siblings. Anyway,
So that conversation carries on. You're spilling the tea about the party and everything along those lines. Riva, your ritual for creating your packed weapon is complete. I do need to look up one thing about it real quick because I'm the psychopath that does things on the fly, and I just want to make sure that I'm not redoing the same thing I already did. Alrighty. I don't know why I'm opening it up this way. Let's get out of here. Okay, here we go. Magic items. Perfect. Oh, there it is. I was on the right page because this is the next chapter I'm editing. So, the sword, normally I believe that it's the improved pact weapon invocation that you have to take in order to use it as, or do you get to use your weapon, because it's been a while since I've played a warlock, you get to use your weapon as a spell focus, right?
I believe I do. I'm not actually. I can look it up really quick. But
It's fine. So either way, that +3 to attack and damage rolls now applies to your warlock spellcasting abilities. It's a +3 to your DC and a +3 to your spell attack as well.
okay, That's very useful.
This is
considering-
an artifact, my friend.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to edit my numbers later.
The only thing that's wrong with it is now you don't want to use any other weapon.
Then, anyways,
The
fine.
infatuation is now both ways, if it wasn't already there.
I think it was already there. Anyway.
Perfect. Maybe you
she
can turn her.
proposed to the sword.
She
I
did.
feel like we're fine.
Yeah, perfect. Issa, what are you summoning with Find Familiar?
As this is the first time that she has ever used this spell, she's kind of just winging it and waiting to see what shows up.
Oh, God. Okay. You had to put it that way.
I gave you the option.
I-
You didn't tell me now.
Okay. All right.
If you want me to pick one, I have one picked, but if you want to fuck with me, you're welcome to fuck with me.
Considering the fact that you said it exactly the way you just said it, that's fine with me. What pops up? Maybe it's because of the inherent magic of where you're at, or maybe it's the mural itself, or the well, or any number of other chaotic things and energies flowing through this place. What springs out of nothingness? A little warp, kind of like a tiny portal opens up in reality, and you hear buzzing through what appears to be. You look at it, it takes you a second to really focus on what it is that you're staring at. There is a creature with insectoid type wings making a buzzing noise. At the end, you see a wasp stinger connected to what appears to be a rabbit's body and head with little floppy ears and wasp eyes. And little antennae
Okay then.
and
I don't like it.
pincers for its mouth.
What
You-
color is it?
It is a yellow and black buzz bunny.
Okay.
And now I've got to get you that stupid thing, because I did it. I rolled a 2.
Yep. Thanks.
You're welcome. Let me get you the stats.
Thank you much.
Oh, wrong game. Sorry. He's not here yet. Buzz Bunny. There we go. Okay. Snipping tool. Yes, new. Perfect. Okay. I will get you the stats of your Buzz Bunny.
Cool.
And there you go.
So how big is this thing again?
It is small.
Oh, okay.
But like
It's-
rabbit sized.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
technically
okay.
tiny, but this thing's slightly bigger than it should be. Because it's horrifying. You're welcome.
Yeah, for some reason, I pictured it the size of. Y'all ever watch Space Ghost Coast to Coast?
Yep.
Uh,
It's not
Oh my
Zorak.
God.
Yeah, Zorak.
Aw.
I couldn't remember the name. I was like, it was just picturing Zorak, but with like a bunny torso, and I was like, nope, too big.
All right.
Well, well, now I need to cast enlarge on this bitch at some point.
But there you go. There's that. Unya's still out for the count. Jean, you see what appears to be a marriage ceremony between a woman and sword and a... What is this? A beast of some sort pop out of nothingness and just look expectantly at one of your other comrades, Issa.
All right. Jean's going to. He's kind of watching the marriage ceremony. He doesn't want to watch too closely. He always cries at weddings. He pulls out a tiny hanky for little Sebastian to wipe off his carapace around his beady, creepy little eyes.
Just hear-
His little mandals.
Yep.
Antenna waving.
Mine ended up
Jean
being
is
a weird one.
actually intrigued by this horrific creation that has popped into existence, because you know, it's a weird looking bug. So he's curious. He's gonna probe that brain. He's gonna. Let me see if I can remember which spell it is. Detect thoughts. He's gonna see if there's anything behind those compound eyes. Or if he's a perfect smooth void like little Sebastian.
This Buzz Bunny has an intelligence of 1.
Yes!
It is
Another
smarter.
perfect smooth boy. Hell yeah. Jean's gonna sidle up next to Issa and be like, what is his name? He is perfect.
It is bold of you to assume it's a he.
You know what? You're right. What is its name? It is perfect. It's I can't gender an insect. It's not my place. I just I'm very curious because it reminds me so much of Sebastian.
I mean, before Jean walks up, Issa's just kind of doing the awkward eye contact, just like, "Hi."
it just looks at you with its mandibles like.
Refresh my memory. Can you talk to familiars and have them talk back?
So
Because I feel like Bo does.
So
Or is it dependent on intelligence?
it is dependent on the intelligence. While this thing does have an intelligence of 1, it does understand. It understands 2 languages. It understands the one that you speak, any language that you can speak, but it also understands Draconic.
Of all fucking things. Cool. All right. Jean, I guess meet Favor?
Favor. It's a beautiful name for a perfect, tiny little mind. Oh,
Yeah,
my
I
goodness.
think
Oh.
I think I fucked it up somewhere. I haven't done this spell before.
No, I think you did it just right.
I think I fucked up this spell. No, it's perfect. This thing's a monstrosity.
Don't touch anything.
It's beautiful. All right, Augustine, about this time you wander out of the corridor. It's been like an hour and 15 minutes.
The gay's gotta gossip. I don't know what to tell you.
So everyone make a perception check except Unya, who is unconscious.
23.
Okay.
9.
Except Augustine, sorry. That should have been obvious, but no, I didn't make it. All right. So anybody that gets over a 15 will turn
16.
and notice immediately that Augustine, Majin, and Fate are no longer alone. There is a familiar face walking up next to them. Oh, it's the weirdos! Hi, everybody!
Hi.
I'm back
Welcome
and
back.
better than ever.
How high of a bar was that for you to clear?
Excuse you. That's my
No.
brother. It was an incredibly high bar to clear.
Who are you?
Oh. Go look at your wall.
Issa, don't you remember your friend? What's going on?
No.
What do you mean,
Go
no?
look at your wall.
Go look at the wall, Issa.
You're going to feel bad when you look at your wall, just so you know.
That would
You gotta
actually
stop
be a
being
first.
friends.
So yeah,
So
you
I messed this up.
I will summon the demon bug onto my shoulder and go look at the fucking wall.
What is that? It's Augustine like grabs Bo and like tucks Bo against her chest.
So did you choose to make it like a horrifying insect rabbit combo, or is it just like the universe?
Checking the wall.
way?
John
fuck
just
off.
screeches, "It's perfect! What are you talking about?"
Okay. Never mind, it's perfect.
When I say you and I made the
That's
best
fine, it's
decision
fine.
of letting you fucking pick this. God damn. Oh boy.
So Jean, you were gonna say something. What was it?
So above table, I always screw this up. So did Jean also forget Augustine?
Yes.
Okay.
The only
I
only
cannot
reason
keep that
you
straight.
remember Riva is because when that last one happened, you weren't on the same plane of existence.
Right.
So you don't know Augustine, but however, Riva, Unya, and Augustine all know each other officially now.
Yeah.
I
I
haven't
love
talked
Okay.
to any of you once.
I love the Charlie Day map that I've got over here for you all.
The murder wall.
The murder wall, yeah.
As Augustine is like walking past Unya, she kind of like points down at Unya and looks at Elliot and says, "And that would be my acquaintance who likes to bleed himself dry."
Oh my god! Fascinating. Is it that book?
I think it is.
That thing's horrifying. You know it's made out of skin, right?
Ew.
Right as that
What?
hit, right as that happens, Issa, you hear in your mind. I hear you've been looking for a way to fix your friend. A little kobold told me. Took me a while to get down here, but now that I'm down here and I see what its potential is, why not tangle myself up in the Great Well? I do like mortals after all. They're fun. I can give you the rest of the recipe. I
Why
mean,
would
or
I
you could
trust
ask
you?
the other one. And you get the sense that this entity, and you kind of turn your head at the same time without realizing it, you're looking directly at Majin. Why wouldn't you trust me? Biscuit does.
That's not the rousing endorsement you think it is.
I personally think that he is the perfect salesman for this job. But whether you go through me or not is fine. The only thing I was going to ask was a favor in return. You don't have to pact with me. I don't care. I just need you to find something.
Which one are you?
Which one am I? What kind of question is that? There are so many. I'm the one and only. I'm the chef of the deep. I'm the one that makes the best meals. I'm the one
Are you
that...
friends with the catfish?
No! That guy's a lunatic, always wanting to play games. It's fun to play games every once in a while, but that one takes it too far.
And you wouldn't know anything about taking things too far?
I give everyone a choice. Now the consequences, obviously, those are well within my realm, right? I get it. I get it. Anyway, the point is I have the recipe you seek. But so do they. And potentially him. Interesting that he's back. He hasn't been able to show his face in years. But
What do you want me to find?
what
I want to know what I'm getting into before I commit to any more fuckery in this fucking place.
see, one of the things I love doing is toying with mortals. And this is a
The hell you
simple.
say?
Oh, no. I said one of the things I like to do is toy with mortals. Don't put words in my mouth. That's where the food goes. That being said, I have a particular appetite right now, and I want someone to be taught a lesson. Not because they've displeased me or upset me. In fact, I put them on this path, but I want to see what happens. I want to see them lose control. If only for a moment. I want my book back.
Issa's going to just eye slide over to Anya's bag, where she has just been.
The book
swirling
is
around
laying in Unya's lap as Unya is laid back.
Wouldn't be that one, would it?
Wouldn't be that one. Yeah, yes, it would be actually. Sorry, I forget.
you know
Biscuit's
it.
the one that likes the sass back. I don't know. I don't know you that well.
Biscuit is nice enough that he can get away with it. You're in my head without permission.
Look, I'm not even in your head.
That's not more or less encouraging.
As you hear this, the sound reverberates. You could hear it kind of like inside, and then as the voice says that, it kind of teeters over to just your left ear. Everyone except her and Unya make perception checks. Based on hearing specifically.
$24.
Okay, you definitely hear it.
21.
Okay, so... And Augustine?
25.
Oh my god. And, yeah, the other... Elliot is completely ignoring it. Knows what's going on, just kind of peeks over and then continues talking to you. But you all three,
Not my circus.
as this happens, you hear... At first it seemed odd, but you hear this whispering coming from over by Issa. You can't really make out the words, but you know something is talking to her. Like I said, not in your head.
Does Issa look to be distressed by this at all?
I don't know. Issa, do you seem to be distressed by this?
Like so many other things in Issa's life, she looks just vaguely irritated and a little put out. She's not having any control in this situation.
Augustine kind of shrugs and turns back and continues chatting with Elliot.
Fair enough.
You don't look to be in trouble. So
It's
she's
just
like,
my face. You're used to this face. It's fine.
it's just your face. If you were in some kind of trouble, it seemed like she'd go over there. But you seem to be fine, just irritated, so...
Resting irritated face.
Yep.
Tell you what, I'll sweeten the pot. See, the thing is I know that there's a malady that follows that book. You use it enough, eventually you succumb to it. It seems that this one here has succumbed quite a bit earlier and wasn't there when I delivered my prize that was so sought after. Now there's just a dumb displacer beast hanging out, half dead, in the barracks. Well, it was in the barracks. It jumped out a window. Now I think it's hanging out with the fish. Either way.
That has potential to be fun when we get back.
Unlikely. It'll probably be dead.
I said potential.
But anyway, that being said, because I'm generous in both merriment, food, and knowledge, and the fact that I love a good time, I will give you an item that has a 50% chance of curing him, so that when he wakes up, he no longer feels the need, as it were.
Hmm. I believe this is something I'm going to have to bring up with my companion since it is not mine to give.
Very well. I'll hang out here. And you hear it like slip around to the other ear. Don't keep me waiting. And then slips back and you hear it kind of like you feel like a presence just leaning against the wall. Unya, you have about an hour before you're going to wake up.
I'm gonna go back over to the group and maybe talk about this a little bit, because I technically wasn't told that I can't.
That's fine.
Starting specifically with Elliot. Weird thing.
Yes.
Infernal chef fella, ring any bells?
Yeah, he's right there.
Cool, good talk. Did you catch any of that, or were you gossiping?
What do I get if I tell you?
Realistically, the opportunity to annoy me further.
I can do that anyway. I don't need your permission.
That's actually fair. You are very much like your sister.
Elliot, be nice.
I am being
I
nice.
think this is him being
I
nice.
have a job.
Okay, but she's actually my friend, and it's a very easy question.
Fine.
I'll give you more tea later if you do it.
Okay. Yes, I know what the deal is. He wants that book.
Mm-hmm.
And he gives you an option, a potential ability to cure that one. And in exchange, you find a way to save... Dear sister, which one is that weird vampire boy that you all were talking... Oh, no, I wasn't back yet. I was there, but not. It's a whole thing. She wants to save Vampire Boy.
Oh. I admittedly don't remember his name, I'm going to be frankly honest, but from what I'm hearing, honestly, your best bet would be to first ask. Your best bet would be to first ask what the cost of the item is, because some items, when you use them, will harm you, even if they do something good as a result. So I would definitely ask about that, and ask about what it does the other 50% of the time.
Solid question. My concern more than anything is he said that any of you could potentially do this. Am I going to get a better deal with him or with you?
I already tried to make a deal with you. You flat out rejected me and made my sister get on my case, so I offer you nothing. Majin simply smiles in the back and goes, I can take care of it all, actually, for a price.
I've seen your prices. I'm not entirely convinced.
Have you?
Haven't I?
Have you?
I'm just going to point or show a thumb back at the wall of... How many times have I had to double check to make sure that I still know my people based off of your favors?
That's a
You
bold
have a
presumption.
pattern.
Oh, my goodness. Maybe I do.
Your goodness.
Well, it's not your goodness.
Is my neutrality at best.
And that's on a good day. Just looks at the wall, like, as if joking with themselves.
I'm gonna, like, see if he's, like, in sight line. Fucking chef.
Yeah.
Are you guys just being bitches together? Okay, yeah, no, that's fair. I earned that one.
Ultimately, what you have here is choices. Well, you did technically have 3, but this one isn't going to be playing ball very easily.
That's
That
alright.
one is already given an offer, and
Mhm.
you haven't asked me what I would take. Or what I can offer as well.
Truly, this feels like used cart shopping.
You know, there was a group that bought a cart. Another time.
Well, color me intrigued. What would your offer be?
What is it you want? What is your dream? I know that you want to save this thrall. I can give you the ingredients, the recipe, and exactly how to fix it with no collateral damage. My price? Is that you help me.
Do what?
See how things play out. You're already on the chessboard. Why not take a bigger stake?
Spoken like a queen to a pawn.
Bold of you to assume my gender.
It's more of what the chessboard can be done with, or can be done on the chessboard.
Yes, but even a king by themselves can stall a game.
You move around too freely to be the king. You're too
You
far.
assu-
You're too many steps ahead.
You assume I'm one piece. And not the board itself. But enough idle gossip. What do you want? Are you willing to potentially put your friend in harm's way? In the off chance that you can fix it? Or do you want a sure bet?
I think at this point there have been too many versions of this where Unya doesn't get any say in it.
We can always wait for Unya to wake up.
I think so. He has his own path, and it's not fair of me to take him off of it if that's what he wants.
Very well. I believe we've only got 20 minutes left. You, new visitor, speaking directly to the wall. Nobody else can see anything here. And you all hear a voice kind of pop up. And he goes, Majin just goes, just show yourself. It's weird talking to air. You hear from behind you, and everyone sees, stepping out of a fine black mist, a very rotund man. To Augustine, Riva, and Unya. To Issa and Jean, what you see instead is just an old man. Just an old man walking with a cane. And the voice is different. Oh, hi. I guess it's time I showed my voice. And my face. To the rest of you, you hear something I can't do, which is a booming balso. But I guess it's time you saw.
Is it just the dude from Ratatouille?
No.
I was thinking that, or
The
Jabba
ghost
the Hutt.
chef, not the skinny boy.
Hey, you know what? We're gonna go ahead.
That's dope.
You know what? Because I don't want to deal with going back and forth and confusing everybody, we're going to go right back to the beginning. The only people that can see what this fool actually looks like are the patrons in the room. So that is Elliot, as far as you all know. So this creaky old man walks out. Hello! Nice to visit you.
God's help me, I love this so much.
So, I'm here. Which deal do you want? Oh, I guess we're waiting for that one. Hey, stupid! Wake up! Unya, you shoot up, fully rested.
Okay.
Hey! We've got a deal! Well, you're supposed to be involved. They don't want to take your agency, which is no fun for me personally, but... Oh...
Don't you have a kobold who's good for that nonsense?
What? Just stares at you blankly.
Are you the one that's supposed to bring me a displacer beast?
Oh!
About that.
Oh, yeah. I did. But you weren't there. You said, bring me a displacer beast to this spot right here. And I did, and you weren't there. So I've provided an offer in exchange.
Pretty sure I didn't use that exact phrasing.
Look, I don't care. I do what I want.
Clearly.
I'm old.
That's obvious.
Elliot has this look on his face where he's just like amused. And he looks over you, Augustine. Sister. If you could see what I see right now. Oh, this is crazy. Anyway, so listen here, Elephant Man. There are two deals on the table. One of them involves taking your book, the other one doesn't. And then Majin goes, shh, shh. Let the one who has the deal to make explain the situation. Yes, let her do it. She's the one with the ideas. Come on, paladin in shining armor.
Shining is so optimistic for where I'm at in my life right now.
I don't judge.
Harshly.
No, I just don't. It's not my job. That's Anubis.
Oh.
Anubis! Scales, judgment, Egyptian. Where are... Oh, I forget. You don't have some of those around here.
What's an Egyptian?
You walk like it sometimes. That's a joke only I get.
Can we get on with the deal?
Yeah! Tell
I'm
him!
enjoying this a little too much.
Tell him about your deal!
I'm just going to relay all of the conversation that happened while Unya was out.
So, to recap, there is one deal on the table where she takes your book and gives it to this weird old man with a chance
The
that
owner, mind you.
they did say he was the owner. Yes.
Yes.
with a chance of curing you of your malady. The other one had nothing to do with your book. And you don't really care about the details of that one, I assume. So,
No. So the option is I give something up for you to gain something.
to save a life! To make someone's life easier!
And we did all technically
something
kind of
up for you to
collectively
gain
shit the bed on that.
Whose life
Not
are we
Reba.
saving?
Oh, that vampire boy, Zale!
You might not recall this because you were rabbits.
Oh yeah, I forgot about her. You invited their sister without knowing who she was. Oh my god. I gotta follow you folks around.
It's pretty embarrassing for all of them.
Yeah, it
Pretty funny.
I'm not really feeling inclined to let this crazy old man have the.
It's my book, but I did give it out freely, so it's your choice.
Wait, if you gave it up freely, why do you need it back so bad?
I told you I like to dick around with mortals.
That's actually entirely valid. I personally think this would be the right thing to do and that it would ultimately help you, but at the same time, you've kind of been fucked over a lot in the past couple of weeks, so I would rather you have some say in this matter before this crazy little patron man decides to, you know, give up his bargain that involved giving you this book and all of its powers and stuff, and Welch is on his side of the deal, but you know, I personally would enjoy, well, not enjoy, I guess, but I feel duty bound to try and help this kid.
This is boring. Tell you what, Unya.
Can I throw my new familiar at him?
I mean, you can. As you throw it, he'll just catch it and be like, "Oh, you're pretty."
Play with that for a bit.
Okay. Hey, Unya, I've got a deal for you.
Almost thing.
You give up the book.
The violin right now is really selling this.
You
Yeah,
get.
sorry, my son's in the background.
No, this is great.
This is fantastic. The world's tiniest violin, yeah. So,
Right?
you give up the book. She gets her thing, and I give you what you wanted. I know why you requested the beast.
That's a one-time agreement, though.
It is
The
a
book I
one-time
can give up.
agreement, but you know that that book can kill you, right?
So can simply walking out of this well.
No. I don't think that's true. I mean, if you fell down there, probably. Points to the never-ending abyss where this waterfall is seemingly going. Look, I'm just giving you options. I don't care. Really, I just came here to stir up shit.
Bet a copper for every time that's been accurate.
In the quiet,
Yeah.
Augustine's gonna like go refill her glass of wine, pass it to Elliot, grab like John's former glass of wine, fill it, take it over, hand it to Unya, and then go back over and continue gossiping with Elliot.
There's just like, oh my god, this is ridiculous, right?
You know the really funny thing?
What?
You see this woman standing to my left? And kind of points over at Fate.
Oh, I know her.
Mm-hmm. So does Issa, so does Unya, but neither of them have asked her to assist with this clusterfuck yet, which somehow makes it funnier.
Don't get ahead of me.
I'm just saying it's funny that you haven't asked for help yet.
I am narrowing down what each of these deals are going to be before I take them to Mom. If you're negotiating with two bickering siblings, you let them fight each other out, and then you go and take it to Mom.
Here's my
I-
thoughts on it.
Okay. Sorry, you're talking to
What was
her.
that?
Never mind. Go ahead.
I take the wine and set it down. I made an agreement I would not drink again.
Hmm.
As for the book, no.
Okay.
No.
Well, my job's done here. And this little old man just walks into a portal and vanishes.
I'm curious who he wanted to fuck with that badly that he was willing to come down here. I don't know.
So,
Feels sort of like you guys exhausted all your options now at this point.
Well, now it's just a yes or a no with this one.
I care
And
not
this
either
question-
way.
You cared enough to offer.
I figured I'd give you an offer.
I'm gonna walk over to I can't think of his name. August or the brother.
Elliot.
Elliot?
That one, yeah.
Oh my
Blood loss,
god,
that's
you
the
are
word.
covered in blood. Gory / gorgeous. What are you doing? What do you want?
Your sister told me to ask a question so I could see if the being that I contact is telling the truth or not.
Oh,
Why
'Kay.
were you a spirit when you pulled her from that fire?
I was not a spirit. I was a patron, as I still am. Just under very different rules than now. See, and he looks over at you, Augustine, and goes, I don't want to speak out of school, but he seems to know a little bit. I'm not going to give him everything. I can't spill all the tea. That's secrets. But no, I learned a long time ago that this was a potential future, and I wagered that if I was there and able to help, she wouldn't die in that fire. So I made the choices I made, and there I was, saving my sister from the horrible letdown of life. And that led us to where we are now.
So why didn't you stop it before she got burned?
Thing about causality, certain things are set in stone.
Issa's just gonna glance at the wall where it keeps like changing and rewriting and rewriting and rewriting.
Majin
Really?
just looks at you and just goes, that's the future, darling.
Which means it was a future at some point.
It was a future at some point.
I think that what my brother means is that there are things in everyone's lives that have to happen. Simply cannot be avoided. How you get there, how it comes to pass, now that may be up in the air, which could explain why we do not even see them on these timelines. Because it just hasn't gotten to that point yet.
Not to
So you were
mention,
meant to be scarred in a way that made you ashamed to show your face?
that was not
You know,
her
there's
shame.
a reason that I...
Oh, sorry, sis. You take this one. I'm not going to step on your parade, Lemonade.
He says, picking up that glass of wine that Unia put down. It is my fucking turn.
Augustine has this full moment of like straightening up and like squaring her shoulders a bit. There's a reason that I called you an acquaintance. Why I covered my face was not shame. I covered my face because I could not make it as a bard looking like this. I could not make money. I could not have good performances because everyone would only be looking at this. Do I know how it makes me look? Yes. Am I ashamed of my scars? No. But there came a time when I became sick of being known for my scars. I do not hide them out of shame. I hide them so that people look at me.
Sis, don't. I know that you're not going to tell him this, but, obviously it's the mystique too, yeah?
Yes, obviously.
Oh, okay.
That's why I did the whole, like, it had to be a specific mask, you know?
I'm just going to tell you that you should put a little bit more red in it. It's a little bit more your color.
Fucking theater kids.
Elliot just looks at you and goes, "Oh, she's mad. I'm going to back away."
Is the being that I speak to telling truth or lie?
Truth.
Then we can discuss your next question if you still want it asked. And in 7 days, I'll ask it.
No, you don't. That question was, and she kind of reaches over and just puts a hand on Elliot's shoulder. That's the
Yeah.
answer to my question.
Fair enough. Then the next question is going to be, how do we save the vampire boy?
Hey,
I'll
Unya,
ask in 7 days.
great,
Yeah.
great taking initiative. How about we hold off on bloodletting for a little bit?
Roughly 7
is a
days,
little bit.
apparently.
Maybe longer, if possible.
No.
But how about we try at least?
No.
Oh, okay.
You got
Good
7
thought.
days.
Gave up immediately.
I mean, you lied literally less than 12 hours ago. I mean, I feel like you
Nearly
really
died.
should be more careful with your life.
No, not nearly.
Nearly.
No, you died.
No,
Unya.
you literally
perished.
died.
I saw
Oh,
your body fall to
that
the
wasn't
floor.
my fault. The psychic
Just hold up a
decided
thing
to
of
attack
that thing of glass.
I'm not
myself.
saying
That wasn't my fault. The psychic decided to attack me. Wow.
it's not about if it's your fault. It's just that you died so recently and you're already putting your life in so much danger. Just to confirm if this thing is telling the truth. It's maybe we could be a little bit more careful with our lives, you know?
I'm playing
I mean,
careful.
I will be frankly honest, I even forgot we had that conversation. Not just because of, before I had lost the memories, I had already forgotten we'd had that conversation. There's been a lot going on.
God's help me, we are all doing great.
Fate speaks up and goes, "I hate to be a buzzkill, but you know that a war was about to start when we came down here. And now that everyone is up and able to function, should we not be moving on? I know
Function
that you
feels
have this
optimistic.
potential pact or deal or whatever with Majin, but we've got to go see what's going on with Dorian. We've got to see if the city's even still standing."
Yes,
How much time has passed since we've entered this?
As far as I know, it's only been, I don't know, a few hours. Maybe 6?
I have a feeling it took at least 8 for him to stop bleeding
Oh,
out from the
yeah, well,
ground.
yes. Sorry, that was the DM being a dumbass. It took you 6 to get all the way down here, plus the 8 hours, and now 8.5 hours to get through this fucking chicanery.
So time doesn't pass differently here? Because when we entered this well, I had 5 more days before I was going to do that ritual.
I don't know. Elliot responds.
I love that you had the response and then realized immediately it wasn't fate enough, so you just assigned it somewhere else.
Yeah. Fate also doesn't know. She's like, I don't know. This is the first time I've been here.
To be fair, Fate makes a very valid point. I mean, most of us had concluded before Unya woke up, so maybe we put the deal on a hold for now and make our way back.
I'm just gonna look at Majin to see if it's okay. I mean, he's not getting any deader, I guess.
24 hours. Anyway,
Mm,
let's go. There's a shortcut.
Oh, thank
Of
God.
course there is.
Before we leave the room, Jean's gonna lean over to whoever's nearest and just kind of whisper to them, who's that standing next to Elliot? I don't know who she is.
Jean, come on. You know who
I've
that
been
is.
out
It's your
of-
friend.
Nothing. Just
Can I just grab him by
John,
the
go
coat
look at the
collar
wall.
and shove him in front of his
Oh.
wall?
okay. I'll.
She's your friend.
What
She's
should I
been here
look for
the entire
at the wall?
time.
I've been trying
Literally
to figure it out.
anything
Like,
from the
I don't
past
forget a
10
face,
hours.
and I got.
Well, you've gotten 2 faces in the last 8 hours, so I mean, we got to
Oh.
work on that.
I'll go look at the wall, and then
Yep,
we can go. We
yep,
can go deal
thank
with
you.
it. Yep.
Yep.
So
Yep.
so you
Yeah,
get like a slipshod, like half-assed read through. You're like, Augustine, Bard, Fire, brother, lost, found brother, lost
Just
brother
taking
again.
notes as getting drug out of the room.
Just walking very
Yep,
slowly.
I got it.
Just,
I got it.
I got
Okay.
it.
Yep. Oh, yep. Yep.
You have a
Alright, got it.
vague semblance, but you have no idea how you were friends, how you were acquainted. Just the fact that you apparently know each other.
Augustine just like looks at Elliot and goes, "You know, if I didn't know that this was the effect of the deals that I made, I would be very offended right now. I'm not forgettable, am I?"
Who are you talking to? Elliot?
Elliot.
He's like, darling, the only reason they remember me is because I was here after. You are going to have to work to get it back.
Oh shit, does this mean that she's not known anywhere in the Shadelands right now?
She is not.
Your reputation be
Whoops.
fucked!
No, she knew that. She was fully aware of that. That's the thing. Like when
I can't wait to watch you try
when
and
they
get
told
ganked
her
now.
that was gonna happen, she was like, "Well, I'm glad I don't spend my money willy nilly. I'm gonna be working real hard to make it back up to thanks."
So, let's see here. Do.
Although that's almost better. Someone comes onto the scene with the talent of someone who's been performing for 200 years. Like out of the
Just
fucking
this
blue.
amazing virtuoso out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like that's gonna gain a lot of attention. So she's like, this could be fun.
So, as you're walking out and having your conversations, you walk up a stairway that, as you're walking, kind of does the similar thing where it flips upside down and you end up stepping out. That weird sense of vertigo that you remember seemingly so long ago, but not very long ago at all. As you flip out and you're standing once again on top of the nameless sea. And as you're walking, they go, well, Fate and Majin both speak up and go, well, since we've gathered the information that we have, Fate here seems to think that she has an idea. Fate speaks up and goes, we should go to the Impossible Spire, where the king resides as diplomats.
Bless
you. I think that's the best course of action. But first, we need to get to the shore. As you're walking, the sea, is kind of very calm. Waves every now and then, but nothing really affects the path that you're walking on. You make it let's see here. Okay, there we go. So as you're walking, one of the things that Fate turns around and says, "Look, I know that we don't know what's been happening while we've been gone, but I kind of want to know where we're leaning right now. Obviously, we need to go talk to the king. But in the event that we can convince him, I don't know what we're going to do about Lacroix."
He seems pretty hell-bent on starting a war.
It does seem that way.
Well, this is going to sound terrible, but how can you start a war if dissent is sent through your soldiers, and they begin to believe that the better action is to lay their weapons down?
That's going to take a lot of convincing. Lacroix inspires his men and women like nobody I've seen before. He's a true born leader. As you're having this
And
conversation...
yet he's not.
Oh, no, go ahead.
And Issa's just gonna point out, he may be a natural born leader, but he's not the one who can gain favor or contact with their patrons.
Fate just looks at you all and goes, "That's because they learned a long time ago how to break pacts and have been working to not fall into the same trap as some warlocks for quite a while. The one thing that you may or may not have noticed is that no legionnaire is working for or with a patron. They remember the secrets they may have learned, but all of their pacts have been broken. Some of them have slain their patrons, others have merely found a way out of the deal." And as that happens, you all begin to step foot on the beach, and you hear Elliot go, "Oh my! Amadon, it's been forever! Nice to see the card-playing psychopath is here." And as you all kind of like get snapped out of your conversation, you look over and you see, I'll show you all a picture here after in a second, but you hear, "Finally! I've been stuck waiting here for over a week. My lord and King Dorian, savior of the Shadelands, would like to formally invite you all to a gathering he's hosting. If you would follow me." And that's where we'll
Wait,
pick
right
up
now?
next week.
Augustine, what are we gonna wear?
No, literally.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be here tomorrow. Same biscuit time, same biscuit channel. That's right. I IP thefted slightly an old 60s phrase. You have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you for City of Illumination tomorrow. A quick heads up, I believe, time-wise, we will have game next week for Red Opera. However, the week after that, we will not, because I'm going to be having a wonderful time doing fun stuff at a club.
Weird.
Anyway, thank you all for joining us. Have a wonderful evening. Go check out my Ko-Fi, my stuff. Support third-party publishers and stay up to date on my shit on all the things. Biscuits and RPG. Okay, bye.